Okay, everyone, this video is designed to tell you a little bit more about the 100 Days of Longevity Challenge, what it is, how you can get involved, and what to expect over your 100 days. So, I am kicking off the 100 Days of Longevity Challenge with my current clientele on the 8th of September. That said, you can do it at any point because it's a phased program. So you can join later in the year if you want to commit to 100 days of longevity. But we're going to be kicking it off at least the first round on the 8th of September 2025. So if it's before then when you watch this, please jump on in. Or if you know any friends that might like to join us, please encourage them to do so as well. So over the next 100 days or so, we are going to be focusing on simple-ish, she says, consistent actions that make a real difference to your health, your strength, and ideally your energy. And the important thing is not just for now. The idea is that we're building a better home and a better structure for ourselves for years ahead, for years to come. This isn't about a quick fix. That said, we are going to aim to see some measurable success in 100 days. But it's about thinking and changing your mindset about what you're doing and how that is going to set you up for success in 5, 10, 15, 30, 40 years' time. So we're going to be thinking about strength, recovery, nutrition, and mindset and lifestyle habits. And we're going to be thinking about these in a sustainable context so that it's something that we can do to set ourselves up for the future. And each week or so, we will spotlight a new theme so that we're not becoming too overwhelmed and we are stacking those sustainable changes as we go on. So, the challenge, if you're doing it with my clientele on the 8th of September does come with points. It's a threshold challenge. So there's some gentle competition with each other, but we're not directly competing with each other. There's no winners, no losers. I'm not judging your performance or anything like that. I've set this as a threshold challenge. I've set a number of points that I want you to try and achieve to try and highlight that we are moving in the right direction for longevity. So you can earn points for completing different elements. You earn points for strength training. And the reason of this is that muscle, or the amount of muscle mass that we hold, is the biggest predictor, or one of the biggest predictors of function and independence as we age, and is a key driver for metabolic health. So it goes hand in hand with cardiovascular activity, both very important. But strength training is pretty much one of the only ways to retain muscle mass as we age. We can still add muscle mass, but the key thing for us here is to add some, but at least retain what we've got. Sarcopenia is the natural loss of muscle as we age, and that is going to happen. But the only way to offset it is to strength train. And I know that strength training can be very overwhelming and it can require equipment, but we're going to stop those excuses. We're not going to use those excuses and we're going to find ways to get around it because I genuinely believe everybody should do some form of resistance training, and some form is ambiguous. You'll also get points for cardiovascular training, and the requirement for cardiovascular training is going to be different for every single one of you. So we will individualize those personally. But your heart, lungs, and your aerobic capacity keep you moving, resilient, and they help with your recovery, your immune function, amongst a whole host of other physiological mechanisms. But your VO2 max, which is your maximal aerobic capacity, which we can improve with aerobic training, is the biggest predictor of lifespan and health span. So it's really important that we don't neglect it. And this is where it can become different. If you're limited on time, sometimes you feel like you have to choose between cardiovascular activity or strength training. And as somebody that is what I would consider a hybrid, I mean, athlete might be pushing it, but a hybrid person. So I do strength training and cardiovascular activity. That's the sweet spot. That's what I want all of you to aim to achieve. Now, the amounts of that might be different, but it might just be being really intelligent with our programming. If we've only got 2 days a week or 3 days a week maximum that we can train, then it might be that one week we do strength, like a run, strength run, or it doesn't have to be a run, but cardio walk, whatever, cardiovascular activity. So we might do it that way. And then the following week we might have two strength sessions and one cardiovascular activity. for example. And that's going to differ for every single one of you, which is why when you do this challenge, prior to starting, hopefully, I will sit down and mash that out with you. We're also going to work on a personalized habit. We're going to think about maybe one thing that is sort of holding you back right now. That might be doing a client check-in, that might be doing a daily plan for your meals, that might be going to bed on time. It's going to be different for every one of you. But longevity isn't just about workouts. It's about the things you do every time, every day, the time you go to bed, the time you wake up, any breathing habits, ice baths. I'm not saying you have to do these, by the way, but all these little things, the types of food that you're eating, how you're managing your work-life balance, all those things are going to affect your longevity long term. Some of the key metrics we can use to measure sort of like how you're aging is your heart rate variability, heart rate recovery, resting heart rate, sleep quality, sleep duration, sleep consistency, your VO2 max. But unless you've got particular smartwatches, some of those things can be really difficult to track. So instead of necessarily tracking the metrics, unless you want to, we will focus on some of the evidence-based strategies that will improve those. For example, strength training, cardiovascular training, and mindfulness habits. So for your habit, we can decide on that one together, or if you know what you want it to be, you can message me. But it's really important to get the maximum amount of points for this challenge that you have a habit on your dashboard that you can tick off. It should be sustainable, realistic, and aligned to your long-term health. So it could be hydration if you're someone that doesn't drink a huge amount. It might be step count if you're someone that finds yourself being relatively sedentary around workouts. It might be mobility if you're someone that neglects that, or a nutrition practice, planning meals, for example. So something simple but meaningful that you can do most days without too much difficulty. The reason we frame this around longevity is it's far more sustainable than chasing short-term aesthetics. That's not me saying that aesthetics isn't important. You know, it's perfectly reasonable dual focus to want to focus on the way that you look because the way you look directly impacts the way you feel. Um, Feeling leaner, stronger, fitting into clothes with confidence are those that are going to happen naturally if we focus on what's good for our bodies. Putting health and energy first and your resilience and your recovery first will help you build a foundation that lasts rather than burning out on short-lived fixes. So whilst this is a 100 days challenge, I'm hoping that you will develop sustainable habits that will continue for forever, I suppose. In the app, you will find the challenge in your main home dashboard, so the very left tab. And you'll be able to click in there and see where you get to. And it's like a wiggly road and you'll get to the top. And so you can start thinking about how many points that you've got and how many that you need to accumulate so that you can reach that threshold challenge. I'm just trying to find the point scoring here so I can talk to you about it. So you will get 15 points for cardiovascular activity. You will get 20 points for logging a strength training or similar workout. So that might be Pilates or a group fitness class, for example. And you will get 15 points for completing a daily habit. And you can do that a maximum of 1 time per day. And if you're not someone that's good at tracking day to day, you can go in at the end of the week and backdate some of those. Um, so like I said, this is about building habits that keep you strong, fit, and energized. We're going to combine, the aim is, my aim for you is that you're going to combine strength training and cardiovascular training to set yourself up for long-term health. Um, so we're aiming for 2 strength workouts a week. We're aiming for cardiovascular workouts. I mean, the minimum guidelines or the minimum dose is 150 minutes of moderate intensity exercise or 75 minutes of vigorous exercise or somewhere in between. So ideally, we want to be doing around 30 minutes a day of something. Now, you might do way more than that. You might do a lot less, but at the very minimum, it's about trying to do something active every single day, even if that's a 15-minute walk. And I know that seems overwhelming. So as a base minimum, we're looking for 2 strength and 2 cardio sessions logged and 7 habit check-ins a week. That will equal around 175 points weekly and will help you get to the threshold target of 2,000 points. So the threshold target for your 100 days is 2,000 points based on two cardiovascular exercises, two strength exercises, and seven habits completed over the week. And if you do that, you will reach the threshold. Now, obviously, we're not all perfect and we're going to have crap weeks. And so if you're having a week that just sucks, then you can accumulate points by maybe having one moderate week and then one great week and then one okay week and then one bad week. So you can accumulate the points, differently, but this kind of tries to force us into getting the two strength and the two cardiovascular workouts, which may well be a walk. So if you think about two strength workouts, two walks, and a habit every day, doesn't feel too overwhelming. And at the end of the day, this is a threshold challenge. So if you don't meet the threshold, but you're very close to it, nothing happens other than you can start to reflect on, okay, well, what could I have done to get to that maybe next time? And sometimes that gentle encouragement of seeing our peers doing the same things around us just spurs us on because we think, oh no, so and so's just done their walk. I'll go and do mine. So I want to welcome you to the 100 Days of Longevity Challenge if you've already signed up. If you haven't signed up, please come and join us. I will make sure to send a link of all the information that you need. And I look forward to seeing you in the group. And there will also be like weekly coaching content as well. So I look forward to sending you that.